You are listening to the Nyx Archive, the official Relic RPG actual play podcast. You can play Relic absolutely free right now by going to relicrpg.com. Hello and welcome back to the Nyx Archive. I am your host and Game Master CD Corrigan. With me, as always, my lovely wife Maddie Hammond.
Hello, I'm playing Farah.
And Marissa Montero.
The other sister wife. I'm just kidding.
Why are you spreading these rumors? Oh my god.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Wait, you did?
I couldn't help myself.
I never introduce you as my wife on the show.
I know.
And I feel like Marissa has had that fucking locked and loaded.
She has, absolutely. It was a good time.
Woo! Welcome back to the Nyx Archive. This is ostensibly a show about playing a game.
And mind games.
All RPG shows are mind games against the Game Master. That is the true game.
Indeed.
But in order to move that along and further Marissa's machinations, we do have to move the story along. So we will get back into that. Last time on the archive, our heroes had just finished up a fight where the Long Haul exploded. Roland, the Orcish barkeep, was injured, and Jat, Brunskull, Aurelia, and mystery assailant prisoner disappeared. Remember all that? That happened. So we picked up from there. They went finally with the quest hook that I gave them in episode 1, the mysterious elven lady Sive. And since the venue that I had built for them to have that whole interaction was now exploded out of my spite and hubris, they went to Lady Sive's mansion and got to see her workshop, her various archaeological digs and expeditions, some old ruins. We learned some stories about, one, how Lady Sive became aware of these two, and two, what she was looking into up here in the frozen north. Our characters also did level up to level 2. Little note on that, we realized after the show that Maddie's character already had the spell that she chose as her perk there, so she's chosen something else now, so if there's an inconsistency there, I update the wiki or whatever, it's fine. Not a big deal. So, we resume just after we have been having a conversation between Lady Sive, Skink, and Farah about what happened to Chester, and also why Lady Sive doesn't necessarily go on all these expeditions herself. Lady Sive had just asked Skink what she had learned from Chester's corpse via necromancy, and upon learning that his murderers were seeking the same thing that she had dispatched Chester and his group to go find, was quite upset about it. Well, fuck, that's not ideal. Lady Sive turns around, whisks her hands back and forth. The chalkboard that had been displaying a running list of all of the different mercenaries and groups that she has tasked to go on various expeditions throughout the Frozen North wipes itself clean, and a recreation of the map you guys had just been looking over on the table draws itself on there. She goes, okay, I've already written it down there. The map recreates itself on the wall. She turns and says, okay, so here, by the way, I have put in our drive, I don't know if you guys saw the message, an updated map because she had updated yours. So, you notice immediately most of the detail is the parts that are clear on this map here, not the drawn portions of it. And I think pretty intuitive to gather that Sive doesn't have a lot of data except very general massive land masses, like beyond the Bulwark Mountains. Like, it's pretty uncharted territory even for her. It's like, yeah, people go up there on expeditions and stuff, but it hasn't really been a comprehensive cartographical study of the region.
Yeah,
right?
she fixed a little bit of the map, but not the whole map.
Yeah, no, everything south of the Bulwarks is these days relatively known territory. Everything north of kind of the line they make there is like the Great White North. Like, it's unknown territory. People have certainly been up there and done things and come back, but not all of them have or are capable of producing good maps. They don't always bring back great data. Sometimes things get lost. Sometimes information comes back and it's conflicting. So, once you get up there, kind of who knows. And she explains all this as it's going up on the board. And she also points to the portion that is circled, and she's circled on your map there. Because that is where I was sending Chester. It's the site that I believe, Chester's group, rather. That's the site I believe that this divination pool was being established at the outset of this long-lost Great War. And it's where the prophecy scrolls should be, these ever scrolls, these perpetual scrolls. The fact that someone is interested in that is weirdly kind of a good thing. Bad thing for Chester, but kind of a good sign. You had been asking why I don't just go do these things myself, and the answer is you saw how many different things I have happening here. I don't want to be blunt or rude, but I can't waste my time. Even now, there's every chance I send you up there and you find out that the caved in 1,000 years ago and there's nothing worthwhile there, and then I've wasted a month. And the things that I would lose or lose track of or not be able to stay on top of in a month if I go out there myself and it's worth nothing are significantly worse than me just paying you whatever it takes to get you to go do it. That's where I'm at. I do have other obligations here, as I mentioned, and several of these other groups that I have dispatched right now are working on things that are equally or more important to me, and I can't be incommunicado for that amount of time. So, I take on this role as something of a taskmaster, a dispatcher, as it were, and hopefully all of the pieces come together. Some of these things are not time critical, but this one, as it turns out, is. So, here is where we find ourselves. A couple of things. That site up in the mountains, no delays, good weather. In the summer, it'd take you about a week to get there. First portion of the journey, pretty easy, open tundra. As long as you're prepared for a trek like that, it's not too complicated. Second half, you start climbing up into the mountains and the foothills. The point you're looking for is... It's not quite at the highest point in the Bulwark Mountains, but it's pretty close. It's gonna get dicey up there. You can't go in there kind of half-cocked with whatever you got. This is gonna be something we need to outfit you for. Or I'm just sending you out there to freeze to death and die. I can speak, well... I don't really want to poke at the bereaved too much, but I can speak to Orlo, the centaur. I can talk to him about possibly securing secondhand some of the goods that they had acquired for this trip themselves. I don't really want to bother Miss Cassie too much with that, but a lot of it would be redundant if they plan to head south and never use it again, and frankly, we'll pay them better up here to reuse it than they'll get trying to sell it in a city that doesn't need it. So I'll send out a message and start working on that, assuming you two want to take this on. Sorry, I sound quite urgent right now, and it's because I've just learned that somebody is trying to scoop this out from under me, and I'm quite upset about it.
Well, Skink, do you want to talk about it in another room?
Yes, maybe we have some time to confer amongst ourselves.
That's fair, actually. I respect that.
We also will not foot the bill for the gear.
No, I was going to suggest I open up a line of credit over at Gallios Thin Winter Outfitters for you. I can provide some guidance on what kind of gear you would need, lodging, rations, fire making, warmth, clothing, etc. You will also probably want to secure a mount or two. Whether you decide to hire on extra help or whatever is up to you. You decide to kind of how you prefer to work.
If I was going to say, if Orlo came with us, can we ride him?
She kind of just goes, that is entirely between you and the centaur. Whichever way
Okay.
you want to go with that.
Okay.
She's like, some centaurs find that rather offensive, and then some I've known don't seem to care. So that's really, I think it comes down to your
Some are
rapport.
into it.
Yeah, it's. I'm just gonna tell you that's gonna come down to your personal rapport with him. I don't
Okay.
know. Great.
Can a horse carry me?
You would know. So basically, you count mechanically as like a large creature.
Okay.
So the answer to that is not a small horse, but certainly like a big. Or
I need like a
stronger
Clydesdale.
one.
Okay.
Yeah, like a war horse or some
Yeah.
equivalent beast of burden type deal. We wouldn't get you like a pony.
Right. Even though
Um,
I'm a small.
Yeah, small. And she actually says, in point of fact, horses not the best thing to be taking out onto the tundra. I don't expect Orlo did much better than, people walking bipeds, as it were. There's a number of different kinds of animals that people use to get around out here. Dog sleds are popular, something similar to that.
Oh
you
yeah,
can also,
something to pull us. Something to pull us. That seems like the best way to go.
that's a good option. Sleds and a pulling animal that's good in the ice and snow works well, especially if you're hauling like heavier cargo, for sure. On the ice, you can just skid. The downside you're going to find is that it's going to be really efficient in the open ground and basically useless when you get in the mountains. So that's the trade-off. Something like a Barith you could ride, which is I don't know if you guys would have encountered one or not. You can actually roll for it if you'd like.
Yes. I would.
That'll be knowledge. We're going to say a nice old 8 on that.
Right. Bear with me for a moment.
It's a little bit like, have you heard of zebras? Like, it's not.
Yeah.
You said which one? Knowledge?
I only rolled
Knowledge.
a 4.
So, Skink's never heard of zebras.
I rolled a 13.
Okay. Once again, Farah.
Bear
Farah's
with the knowledge.
Yeah. Yes, the cow goes moo, the Barith goes roar. So Skink, never heard of these things. This is a weird Arctic animal. Farah, a Barith is like a walrus polar bear thing.
Wow.
They're weird. It's a big, shaggy, low-slung animal, built white fur, heavy-set like a bear, has tusks, a big old tail, and is particularly well adapted at scooting and scampering over frozen ground.
I like that idea.
She goes, yeah, I've seen people rig them up to sleds. I've seen people put saddles on them. Galio can probably hook you guys up with somewhere to rent them from. As I said, I'll provide a line of credit.
Can they climb?
They climb all right, especially if you can get saddles that are made with that kind of thing in mind. You do maybe need a good rapport with them to do that sort of thing, but it's not the hardest thing in the world. They're trained animals.
All right.
Also, not a terrible thing to have on your side in a fight if it likes you. If it doesn't like you, it'll let you get eaten. They're not, they're carnivorous. They're not gonna go out on a limb for things that are mean to them. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so I will give you however long you need to speak. Full disclosure, you're going to be trusting me a little bit if you speak here, because I am not intending to listen in on you, but very little goes on here that I couldn't, and I just want to be transparent about that possibility. So if you would like to leave and come back, if you would prefer that, I will give you a promise of privacy and leave you to, I can leave you the room here and go. I have many things to do and messages to send and whatnot, but I just want to be clear that you would be trusting me, so I won't take offense if you choose not to. All right. Decide amongst yourselves. I'm going to go down to the basement. I have to go to the workshop. Goodbye. And she leaves.
Okay.
I don't really care if she hears this. I just didn't want to be rude and have like a conversation in front of her. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whatever.
Hi, Kat.
Okay. So, oh, there she is.
Thanks, paper.
Sure.
So,
Are you having any like gut reactions to this?
well, I'm very curious by Flakes for one thing, and I mean, her shift in tone is extremely noticeable. She went from being like pretty laid back to being like pretty anxious about it, which can mean a couple of things. It's important. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
On top of that, she might be willing to pay more. And sounds like we'll get some cool gear, some new experiences out of it. So, Farrah's down.
Yeah. I mean, I'm in. I'm going. I'm wondering.
I don't want to die.
Exactly. It
There is
sounds
that.
pretty bad.
And also, Bloom
Sounds
School
pretty
owes us money,
dangerous.
so I think we should be allowed to go try to get that first.
Lady
Do we
smells
think-
funny.
We can find him though. I mean, they all just disappeared.
Fine. Next
Yeah.
time he sees me, he's getting an earful. He owes me 3 platinum. Us.
Yeah.
3 platinum.
Yeah, he owes us. But I think that Sive is much more reliable for payment.
I would agree, especially if we would demand at least half payment up front.
Yeah. Yeah.
As you guys are
Yeah.
talking, Skink, Pip is returned to his nest on top of your head with
Mhm.
his shiny disco ball on a string, and he's just like swinging it around in his beak in the candlelight and like watching all the sparkles shine around the room, just like
Ugh. So easy to buy, you harlot.
Skink is also like, I mean, it is pretty cool.
Damn it.
I see.
I know.
I see why you liked it.
she called it a fidget toy, mother.
No, not a fidget toy.
Actually, I do think at this point, Farrah's feeling less betrayed by Pip and more like curious as to why he trusts Sive, and a little more willing to like commit because of Pip. Pip is a good influence.
I look up in the vicinity of the top of my head and go, Pip, what do you think?
Pip kind of like ruffles up and sits on his haunches for a second in a gesture you guys are familiar with, like the crow is deep in thought. Raven,
Mhm.
sorry. And he just. She smells funny. But. She does business. She said
Okay.
shiny, I got shiny. Pip likes shiny.
I mean, it seems good enough for me. Do we need more weapons? Is that something that we should ask for? Or is that something that we should buy on our way?
Yeah, let's talk to her about gear. But I think let's go ahead and say we'll do it.
Okay. Also, Farrah,
Yeah,
this stuff about her sister
yeah,
seems kind of shady, right?
sure, yes.
Okay. I just needed to get that out there. Just needed to get that.
I don't know. She seems oddly preoccupied by her sister.
Hmm.
I don't know. It's strange.
Yes. All right. Well, as long as... Listen, I've got your back. We've got a skeleton jar
We've got
now.
each other's back, and we have a skeleton. She did give you that.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. All right, let's go find her.
Okay. All right. So, we trounce
Farrah
back.
just yells Sive's name. Sive! Lady Sive! We've decided!
How does she react to that? Neutrally. Roll. I was like high, crazy, low, bad, middle. Just like
I like it.
good. Come on down. And you see the doorway to the basement opens back up by itself.
We trot down
Her,
there.
all her stuff is so cool.
Yeah, I'm very distracted by all of the stuff in the room.
Yes.
What do you say as you come in? You see her, she's back over the workbench. The giant golem construction arrangement is up on the wall, and she's like working on something in front of her there.
Farah walks into the room. I know the door's already open, so she can't like burst through, but it has that same energy, that same vibe, if you will. And she's like, we've decided to help.
Glad to hear it. I've decided, I was trying to rack my brain. Skank got the skeleton jar. Love that. Seemed fitting. Noticed you seem enamored with my enchanting work, fellow practitioner of the arts. Thought it was only fair. Get you something to work with in that realm as well until we can get together and I can show you how to make your own jars and such. And she hands you what looks to be a small, it's about a foot by a foot square piece of, it feels almost like chalkboard, like a piece of slate.
Okay.
She goes, watch this, and then taps a little investment of ether, touches it, and these fractal runic lines just sort of spread and are traced through, and you see they're like embedded in the substance of this thing, kind of in between the layers of, it's more than just slate there.
Okay.
And she goes, that is an enchanter's slate. And Chris is going to send you the item description.
Thank you.
Right now.
Is it coming through the chat? Yes, it is. All right. Would you like me to read it?
Yeah, I think go ahead and read it for the show.
Okay. Rune slate. This 1 foot by 1 foot slab of thin stone is infused with etheric energy. An enchanter may use the scribe rune skill to add 1 rune of their choice to the slate. This rune does not consume an enchantment slot and does not require the enchanter to sustain mana. This rune remains inert and inactive. Hold on, something's blocking it. And can be transported easily. It is activated with an action while touching the slate, after which time all typical rules about runes are true, save those accepted above. The slate may be rendered inert again as a touch action by the rune's creator. It takes 1 hour to scour an inert slate clean and prepare it for a different rune. Neat.
So it lets you have a little portable, semi-permanent rune slot that doesn't eat up your other resources. It's a little deployable, like pre-prepared thing.
Yeah, I love that.
Because scribing
Cool.
takes like a minute per slot typically.
Farah's eyes get big and you can tell, like, joy, glee. She's excited.
She kind of nods to herself and is like, yeah, I thought I had that one pegged. Go ahead and roll a precision check for me.
Sure.
She rolled pretty low on this.
9.
You hear as you are like looking down at this thing, she goes, thanks, Pip.
Cute.
What is Pip doing in his mind up there? Wow.
So thank you very much. I imagine this will help on our quest for you.
That's my thought. So to reiterate once more, my chief objective is a couple things. While you guys were talking, I put some feelers out for... I know the movers and shakers in the area. Traveling that far into the tundra is not a simple task, even for 2 people going about your business. We don't know who killed Chester yet.
Right.
Vexingly, I might have to talk to Estelle more about that because it's become very relevant to my interests. We don't know who killed Chester. Presuming they are trying to mount an expedition to get to this divining pool before us, that takes resources. As of yet, it doesn't look like anyone's departed Osk heading in that direction, equipped with anything that would get them up those mountains. So I think we have a little bit of time. My suspicion is, like you, they didn't know where they were trying to get to until today. So I think we're roughly on the same time scale here. Because if they just went running out of town, they're going to freeze to death. It's that That's it.
So, question for you.
Yes.
If we traipse about town getting a whole bunch of gear
Mhm.
to go through the tundra,
Mhm.
it's going to be very obvious to whoever's competing with us what
Mhm.
we're doing. And I think that we'll put a nice big red target on our backs. Is there any way to make this more discreet? Or any particular way to safeguard ourselves?
Well, so I have two thoughts on that. One, we can be discreet. There might be some ways to do that. Two, maybe we don't want to be discreet. If you know the assassin's
I don't
coming,
want to die.
I was going to say I could watch your back discreetly. I'm going to keep using that word. And see if someone paints a target on you. But obviously, I mean, to be fair, it is more of a risk. So, that might be the kind of thing. Either option. We can coordinate with some of my allies in town to make either option more viable. I think getting things discreetly will take longer.
Mhm.
Getting things overtly or as if you don't know there's a target painted on your back might give us some more information. But it is a
I have an
risk.
idea.
Yeah?
What if we just say we're gonna go get flakes? Because they didn't kill him for getting the flakes. Nobody stole a single one of the flakes. What if we just say we're going on a flake hunting expedition, just
I
like
like-
everybody else out here,
I like
and pretend like all we care about is money, which, you know, is a easy story for us. A lot
Yeah.
of people will believe that.
You see Lady Sive is kind of like leaning in, doing this conspiratorial talk, and you say that and she kind of just goes,
I think it's brilliant.
I occasionally get really focused on my own stuff, and I feel a little silly that I didn't think of that.
Skink's the genius. Genius.
Yeah, you guys got a lot more going on that meets the eye, and I respect that. So that
You might
works.
be goofy.
Yeah, you know, we really lean into our reputation sometimes, and it works. It works in our favor.
Okay, so yeah, you could mount a flake expedition. That
Yeah.
makes a lot of sense.
I think that's what we're gonna say
It's
we're
happening.
doing.
I
We've
love it.
decided we would also like to be rich,
Yes.
so we're gonna go look for flakes.
That is a good motivation, and I have to remember that for people. Okay. Okay.
Not everyone's out looking for scrolls.
Yeah, it really makes me wonder more about why these guys are.
But anyway, cool. Well, that's decided.
Lovely.
Lovely.
So, okay, got you our down payment stuff. Goes without saying. So, nitty gritty of the deal here. I absolutely must have the perpetual scroll of divination that may or may not be at this site. Anything else you find along the way, I will give you premium top dollar if you give me first pick of anything interesting, archaeological. You've seen what I collect in terms of these old constructs, anything archaeotech, kind of that nature is of strong interest to me. I won't say I have a claim on it. I will say that I will outbid people on it. Anything else you find along the way is totally up to you to whether or not you want to haul it back or not. As long as it doesn't jeopardize getting the scroll back in a relatively safe and timely manner, I don't care what you do. Please don't get distracted by the first vein of raw flakes you see and abandon the mission and come back and get murdered. That was not ideal for anybody,
Right,
including the dead. But particularly because we're under somewhat of a time crunch now, that'd be bad. So, I'll say this. I can give you 200 gold up front right now, just as pocket change for both of you. 200 gold apiece. And you hear Pip goes,
Wow.
"Ah!" And she goes, and a silver for Pip. They're his favorite. And Pip settles back down. So I can give you 200 gold apiece right now as a down payment pocket change for taking on this task. I've sent a message to Gallio at Thin Winter Outfitters with a line of credit. That's where you can probably secure mounts or transportation and most of your winter gear related. And she fishes around in her like infinite pocket and pulls out, hands you both a black coin. She goes, "That's my marker if you need to procure anything else in town, any of the merchants here. Most of the I'll put it this way. The reputable ones know it. If you give that to them, I will pay your tab up to a point for things you need to go on this expedition. If you go on a spending spree, I'm not going to make the payments and they're going to come after you for nonsense crap. But, anything really...
She's handing us a credit card.
She's handing you a credit card.
She's totally handing us a credit card.
Yeah, she's got the Scythe Black.
I love it.
She's like, anything you think you need within reason to go on an expedition like this, weapons, armor, gear, potions, whatever, you have my blessing.
Need a ball gown. I'm just kidding.
I need a ball gown.
She's like, I would get a message about that, and we'd have to have a conversation. But warm gear, all that kind of stuff. So Gallios is covered. Leave that with anyone else that you need to place an order in with, and they will fill it over the next day or two and get the marker back to me or you, and we can kind of proceed that way. If you run into any complications other than that, let me know.
Cool.
So, Gallio would be the guy to talk to about what it takes to hike out into the frozen tundra. It's kind of his whole jam. He's actually from north of here up in the Bulwarks. I think you guys, he had mentioned that too. Yeah.
We made friends. He's my man. He's my boy.
He had mentioned running into you two the other night. He seems to have really become enamored with a certain type of smoking weed now. I don't really understand why. I mean, Gaians have an amount of biological matter to their corpus, but not...
Scythe, it's obvious why.
I don't think he can get high, is my point.
It looks cool. It just looks cool.
He does look slightly cooler, I will say that.
It's all about the optics, Scythe.
I think is it not also about the ritual?
Yeah, right? Gotta have something to do while you're standing around.
I'm going to be really honest with you. I wasn't prepared to have this conversation.
Anyways,
that's
we
rare
know
for
Gallio.
me.
Gallio's got our back.
Yeah, Gallio's a good guy to start with. I would also... You can also talk to the former crew, possibly salvaging some of their gear. They don't want it. I think that's still a good route to take. They can maybe tell you something about the journey. They didn't go the whole way, but they made it up into the foothills. Might be a good place to start if you're on good terms with them. Beyond that, I don't think there's anything else I can do for you at this moment. Is there anything you need from me?
I think we've got everything we could possibly think of.
I cannot think of anything right now, no. Well, at this point, GM, what time of day is it?
Oh, let's see. So you guys had gone to the long haul in kind of the early to late mid-afternoon. Fight happened. Travel happened, conversation happened. It's probably past dinner time, getting towards like later evening at this point, like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night.
So can we realistically set off tomorrow morning, or should we spend a day getting ready?
She would tell you, like, realistically, arranging everything you need for this expedition is going to take more than a day. I'm not even sure what... There's only so many, like, mounts and transportation options available in town at a given time. You may want to visit a number of different shops, locations, vendors, etc. So I would plan to like stock up for an expedition. If you need to store anything, like get your goods together, Gallio has spaces where you can do that, or you can arrange to like set off from here. That's fine. And if you need to get a message to me, you can either return here and speak to the gate, or Roland can always get me a message. In fact, I need to check in on him. He should be over at Polk's getting patched up now.
I think if we are trying to fake a flake expedition and we don't want to be associated with you necessarily with given Chester's demise. Maybe we should. We'll talk to Galileo. Sorry, I want to call him Galileo real bad. About storing stuff for us.
That's a good plan.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I think we
We're
also
off.
might not go flashing the black coin all that much.
No, to the best of
No.
our ability.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep that specifically to like the proprietors of establishments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who I've made those arrangements with.
Sure.
Reputable ones. If you go skulking around in
Mhm.
back alleys and making shady deals, it's not going to do any good.
Got it.
All right. All right.
Well, Scythe,
Alright.
this has been a most auspicious meeting.
Gotta love that auspiciousness. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I have some things to do and arrangements to make of my own. So I will see you out now, if that's all right. And
Okay.
we'll be speaking again soon.
We'll be off.
Best of luck.
That's all
Skink
for now.
trots up in her little sock feet. And, puts on her boots again and is ready to go. Yeah, where do we want to go first? Are we just going to go back to our room first? Because Orlo is staying at the same place as us. Do we wonder
Well-
if we might run into him?
Yes, Farah had that in mind. Also, Farah's hungry.
Yeah.
I think I'm still rattled.
You are still around. Yeah.
So
Let's
I'm like,
go home.
I really don't want to do anything else this evening. I just want to go eat and go to bed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
GM point of order. You will remain rattled until you guys choose to take a long rest. So that is, there's a number of options here, and Relict is kind of, I'm going to speak a little meta right now. Relict is kind of built around these situations where it's like, do we want to press on in less than optimal conditions? Or do we want to take time and approach things fresh, but potentially, lose time or other things? So the easiest way to get rid of an affliction, like rattled, which Farah sustained in your fight,
Mhm.
the easiest way to get rid of an affliction is to take a full rest. For each week spent during a full rest, you remove 1d4 afflictions without consuming any other resources or material, whatever. There are magic items, potions, healers, other things in the world that can circumvent that. Some class abilities also allow you to do it to a limited extent. So the question I think Farah and Skink would be grappling with right now is like, you could prep for an expedition, make arrangements and whatever, and still count that as a full rest, as long as you're not adventuring during that time, and we'll kind of skip through that a little bit. And Farah only has one affliction. She would go into that fresh, but it would take you at least a week before you set off. Or you can press on, potentially hit the road ahead of whoever these people are who murdered Chester, and get to your destination in advance of them. But Farah's going in with an affliction, which is doubly bad, not only for the affliction's penalties that it inflicts by itself, but every subsequent affliction is worse. The more you have, the more dangerous they become. Like, you can't roll an instant death affliction if you only have a couple. But if you stack up a bunch, every time you roll, there's a risk of just like being permanently incapacitated or majorly afflicted or dead.
Okay.
Okay.
So,
Well,
So it's gonna take more than a day to get our stuff together.
Yeah.
You said I have a full week before I can roll a 1d4.
it would take a
Yeah.
week of rest. During the time in town here, I will say you could also try and seek out other ways to
I
be...
was just gonna say, we have 200 gold. Let's go buy a doctor. Let's go buy a potion.
I guess I could have asked Sive about it because Sive probably had some. That's okay though.
You guys are like on her doorstep now if you want to like knock again.
I'm gonna turn around. Farrah's gonna turn around and be like, knock, 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 knock.
Okay, after a
You're
moment...
You're like, you asked if we needed anything else, and I just thought of something.
Look, I'm a little rattled, okay, and that's the problem. And
Yeah.
I don't want to set off rattled.
The door just opens up again. Go ahead and actually, either one of you can make a precision check for me.
Okay. 11.
Oh, did you say either one of you or
Yeah,
both?
yeah,
of
take your pick if you want to do it or not.
you? Fine. Hold on.
Which actually brings me to a good point. The other thing that happens when you take a full rest is all your fate points go away.
6.
6 and 11. So 6, Skank, you just, oh yeah, we forgot something. Knock, knock, knock. 11, Farah, as she opens the door, you see Sive was like getting ready to head out right after you guys. And she goes, yeah, what's up?
I don't want to set off rattled. I'm afflicted right now. And I was wondering if you had any suggestions for how to quickly get rid of it. Otherwise, I'm going to stay here a week until I'm fully rested and ready to go.
Right. That does make sense. Okay. Best options for healing in town are Polk's Hut. He's an old healer, alchemist type person who's been in Osk for a very long time. He might be able to sell you something that can help you out, or you can always head over to the Temple of the Thaw and seek some divine intervention.
Temple of
the Thaw. Yes.
I love that.
You guys would actually know that is the institute that Estelle Quick was associated with. The paladin / sheriff.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. This way we can be on our way faster.
Yeah, that's a good plan for sure. I was actually going to go check in on Roland. I think he should have been over to see Polk himself by now. But if I know the Big Lummox, he's probably tending to somebody else and ignoring internal injury. So I'm going to go drag him over there. And maybe
cross paths again.
we might cross paths. So anything else?
Nope. Thank you. No,
Fantastic.
I say that. I might turn right back around and remember something. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, I'm walking out the door past you at this point.
Neat.
So
Good. Okay.
Great. So she does. She closes.
And this person who's like 3 times taller than us just walks right through the middle of us past us.
Yeah, like low-key could probably like step over you if she needed to.
Yeah.
Like a railing, you know.
Yeah. All right.
She walks out into the snow and the door closes just by itself behind her.
So, would Polk's Hut
Polk's.
be open this hour of the night?
I don't know if you would know that.
Okay.
I think late, so just intuitively, pretty safe bet you can always find someone at a temple. Private business, who knows?
Right.
Also, you don't really know what kind of place Polk's is. It sounds like he might just live there.
Right. I might suggest that we go back to our inn.
Yeah.
And I'm still upset about Brunskill not having paid us. And we can eat, I can rest, and then tomorrow morning that can be the first thing that I pursue. And then
I think that makes the most sense.
All right, let's do that. So we're
Let's
gonna
go.
head back to our midwinter sun.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Back to the midwinter sun. And 200 gold heavier each.
Yeah. piece, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Which, how heavy would that be? That'd be so fucking heavy.
Is it? I don't know. They're small. They're
How
small.
big are they? Chris is gonna look it up for me.
Yes.
1 ounce coin, a $50 face value. Weighs 1 gold troy ounce. So a gold piece and relic is a little less than half of that. So they're about half an ounce a piece. So let's say, and I'm not going to
So
bother with
what's 100 ounces?
I don't know what the hell a troy ounce is, and I'm not going to look into it because just engage with the content and leave me an angry comment if you want. So
It's only like 5-ish pounds. then.
200 times 0.5 divided by 16. Yeah, it's like 6.5 pounds worth of gold.
It's not bad.
That's not that bad.
So
That's doable.
that's a relatively easy workout. But I think you start to realize, like, oh yeah, so if you were playing around with like making thousands of gold on transactions, I think I understand why people use platinum.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, tracks. Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
A gold coin and relic is worth about 20 real-life US dollars as of the time of this recording, by the way. Do I have that conversion in the rulebook? Yes, I do.
Wait. That means we have like $2,000.
Yeah, 200 gold's a lot.
That's not enough for gear. I don't know what to tell you.
She gave you.
We don't know how much gear costs. We don't know how much gear
In
costs.
this economy.
First of all,
Yeah.
she gave you $4,000 a piece for walking around money.
She gave us $2,000 a piece.
No,
for
200
walking
gold times $20 is $4,000.
around. I can't do math.
Yeah, I used a calculator.
I should have. I was
So you-
multiplying by 10, not 20, because I'm an idiot. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. You guys
Okay.
just got $8,000 to go stock up and a line of credit. You should be fine.
I guess.
Well, actually, for an Arctic expedition, you definitely would die in the snow, but that's all right. We're gonna hand wave that.
Right.
This is fantasy.
magic.
It's
This is
fantasy. There's less inflation.
I can heat a water bottle. Okay.
You're not
Like-
buying a Toyota Hilux.
Listen, I'm a goblin, okay? Let's
I would
argue
also
about money
argue-
with the goblins, okay? Like, where are
I would
we? What
argue
is happening?
There are ultralight backpackers that backpack in like super high altitude, super cold conditions. We can do that.
Yeah.
If real life humans can do it, a nuke can do
Yeah,
it.
people sleep on the side of Mount Rainier. Come on,
Yeah.
we can go.
Yeah. And a lot of
It's
people
just about
die.
having the right
It's-
gear.
Yeah, they do. They do die. Yeah.
I don't know what
They
you're
leave
talking
the
about.
body there.
Yeah, most of them survive.
Honestly, the thing that Skink is most excited about is finding dead bodies in the mountains.
I believe that.
Yeah, I've
Yep.
been trying to like genuinely think of like weird frozen necromancy stuff to like do throughout the
Love it.
story because I know
Excellent.
not only do I know that you guys are going to search for it, but things will come up. Anyways.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time.
Okay, are we at Midwinter Sun?
Yes, we'll say that the course of this conversation on currency conversions with Pip, who somehow knows US dollar amount, has taken the
We're
course of
breaking
time
the
it takes.
fourth wall.
Yeah, Pip is a transdimensional being, is really what we're learning. He's a cat in our reality.
Yes.
Hey there, this is your friendly neighborhood game master CD Corrigan dropping in midway through the episode to say a very heartfelt thank you from myself, Maddie, and Marissa for your support and listenership of the Nyx Archive. One of the things I am most proud of on this show has been the incredible music and sound effects that we've been able to pull together to bring our episodes to life. Nearly every single sound effect and all of these awesome musical tracks that you have heard in the Nyx Archive thus far have come from Monument Studios, and we are so happy to announce them as our first official sponsor. If you want to bring your TTRPG experience to life for your home games or your own productions, head on over to monumentstudios.net and use code NYX, NYX, to get 10% off any order. I was so happy to get this sponsorship opportunity because this is truly a product that I was 100% sold on and actively using on the show before I ever spoke to the creators. So please go forward, tell them we sent you, and enjoy. So, you guys arrive at Midwinter Sun, and the mayor, Barkeep, is once again, I believe Maria was her name, is once again working at the front. She goes, "Oh, welcome back in. Will you be staying another night? We've kept your
Yes.
room open on the presumption."
Excellent. Thank you, Maria.
Fantastic. Would you like me to just start a tab for you at this point, or would you like to pay ahead of time?
We definitely want a tab.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that's splendid. I believe it is another silver a night for as long as you would like to stay here. We do have some complimentary food and other meals at sale for a discount. Tonight, we also have our Harlequin troupe is performing for the next hour. They've been here since dinner, and we'll be returning several more nights this week.
Please tell me they have a certain genre. What is the genre of Harlequin music that we will be listening to this evening?
I found a random music genre generator, and it came up with Psyprog. I don't know, but the next one is, there's a good one. Sung poetry.
Sung
I don't hate it. I love that.
That is 100% what Harlequin troops will be singing in Osk.
That is
Absolutely.
Yes.
excellent.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yes.
There's not really a stage in the Midwinter Sun. I think you've kind of gathered this is, from your first impression of the Midwinter Sun, this is an older building. It's one of probably the oldest buildings in Osk, and I think you might have a sense that this was once like a communal hall of some kind, like in the earliest settlement. Way more efficient to build one big long hall or dugout or something and heat a bunch of rooms where people are staying all at once than it is to have a bunch of freestanding homes out here in the middle of the ice. So never really a stage built. What there is right now is a troupe of performers on the lowest tier closest to the bonfire that warms the entire central room, and they are performing sung poetry as they march in circles, performing to all quadrants of the room and casting dancing shadow puppets on the wall with various props and fans and trinkets and such to go along with the performances. The one they're performing right now is a somewhat saucy limerick called A Girl from Spring's End, who sprung and sprung from end to end with all the boys in town. But it's a dirty limerick. It's like The Girl from Nantucket type deal. And they're performing it with some shockingly elaborate shadow puppets that are projecting themselves over a number of patrons, about 90% of whom seem into it, and the other 10% seem deeply offended, which I feel is what they were going for. Other things to know about this troupe of performers as they wrap up this saucy number. All of them appear to be in their later years, a lot of gray hair and frizzled beards as they're kind of marching around and just having a grand old time. They're definitely a group like playing bagpipes and muumuus, like that kind of vibe. These are your entertainers this evening.
Yay.
As they wrap up their performance and they take a bow to mostly applause and a couple of jeers that they seem more excited about than anything else, they stand back up and say, "All right, thank you one and all for your indulgence this evening. We've got time for a couple more numbers. Any requests? We've got an epic of daring do and heroism, or a little fun one. Any takers? Any numbers? What do we got?"
I think I look at you hoping that we're both gonna say a different one at the same time.
I was gonna say the adventure one.
The little fun one?
No, I was gonna do the other one.
Okay, great. Because I was gonna say the little fun one.
All right, so at the same time, are you ready?
Yeah.
The adventure one.
The fun one!
Oh boy. Let's do a little roll. How about this?
Let's roll for it. Let's roll for it.
Both of you roll a d20, and whoever wins, we'll say the crowd is more on that side.
Okay.
Ooh, 16.
Roll 18.
18, the fun one. The performer looks to you and goes, "The boy from Bassa it is." And he goes into like, it's more of like, Marissa, help me out here. What's the fast-paced merengue?
I think it's gonna be like a banjo kind of hoedown sound.
That's better. It's kind of like a hoedown style, and it's a story about a boy from the flying city of Bassa and the lads and lasses he had in every port along the way, and what a lovely day he was having until he realized that the city had returned back to its point of origin and they were all waiting for him. That's the gist of the story. So he goes through this whole thing, and the rest of it is him trying to flee as the flying city of Bassa hunts him down, and he gets his comeuppance in the end. That is this lovely number. I wish I had the skill to do a live hoedown, but I absolutely do not, and that's a favor to all of you. But feel free to make one. You guys are welcome to retire to your rooms or hang out in the common hall for a while. These guys will be going for at least another hour or two, it seems like.
Well,
I think we need to eat.
So down to watch while we eat. Farrah's also going to be drinking.
Okay.
Lovely. How hard? You want to roll for it?
She's drinking hard enough that she wants to perform with them. Do you want me to roll?
You know what? I mean, Farrah can handle her stealth. Like, it's up to you. If Farrah wants to get that drunk, it's just a matter of probably 3 silver.
Okay. All right. It's doing it. It's happening. She is rattled. She's had a shit day.
Yeah. What were you gonna say, Skink?
I was like, first I was gonna ask, can you drink the rattle away? Or do you
That would be
drink
convenient.
can you drink to such an extent that you don't notice how rattled you are, like because of how the drunkenness and the rattledness interact? I'm asking. I don't.
Well, I'm gonna say that even in our fantasy worlds, alcohol does not improve the prognosis of head injuries. So, no. But it's certainly a thing Farah can try. Skink, what are you getting up to as Farah is getting blitzed?
So this is one of my favorite versions of Farah because it comes out probably so infrequently.
Sure.
And Skink is overjoyed and delighted that this is the turn of events today. Like, not only is there now 6 pounds of gold on her person, now her BFF is gonna get sloshed. and it's like this is the best. This is absolutely wonderful. And I will be drinking also, but I think I probably drink more often than Farah does usually.
Mm-hmm.
So Skink's gonna like hold back a little bit and be like, oh, it's my turn to be moderately responsible today. Okay.
Pip is standing in your hair and doing that like bird dance. You ever see like the cockatoos do? Where they're just doing this,
Yes.
and he's just
The bob.
shots,
the bird
shots,
bob.
shots. Occasionally, like as Farah gets more and more unhinged, just swinging his little razzler around. Just, shots.
Yes.
Party Pip.
Party Pip.
So,
Pip.
you guys tuck into it. Farah, as the performers are getting towards the end of their set, they're getting a little looser, a little more, just ridiculous and unhinged.
I want to approach them.
They were literally just about to stand up and be like, any requests from the crowd? And you approach.
Okay. Friends, hello. I would like to perform with you.
This guy...
Skink stands up on her chair and is like, woo! Yeah! That's my girl! Like, you haven't even gotten, like, anything out yet, and I'm already, like, cheering for you to convince them that this is absolutely the thing they must do. This is what...
Before they even answer, Farah is climbing onto a table, standing on it. Okay. Mind you, she's only like 3 feet tall, so that doesn't do much. She's just now marginally visible. And she's gonna start reciting a poem. Are we ready? This is from...
we're so ready.
This is from the perspective of my good friend, Pip. Oh, I have slipped the surly bonds of Osk and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sunsplit clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence, hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager wings through footless halls there. Up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights where never lark or even eagle flew. And while on silent, drifting mind, I forgot the words. I've topped the windswept, reached out my hand and touched the land of gods. And Farah takes a bow.
Go ahead and roll a cleverness for me.
Okay.
Here's what we're gonna do. Skink, because you're acting as the hype man effectively. You also roll a cleverness, and we're gonna add half of whatever you get to Farah's result.
I rolled a 10.
10? Skink, what'd you get?
I'm rolling. You wanted me to roll 1d12, right?
Yeah.
I rolled a 12.
Do you want the fate point or do you want to explode it?
Oh, let's explode it. A 1.
Oh, well.
So what's your cleverness?
My cleverness is 3.
So 13, 16. So another 8 to Farah's roll. It's going to put you at a solid 18 because I said we'll add half a skinks. So a solid 18. Farah, I think you get a significant round of applause for like a lot of people just being like,
Stunned.
all right. Like, you know, like there was a big energy of like, oh, this drunk gnome is climbing on the stage, and then she just nails it, and they're like, oh, okay, and like Pip like takes a lap around the fire and everything, and like, oh, she has a bird. Okay, cool. This is like maybe this is part of the show. Cool. So you get a great performance. The Harlequin that you came up to, this old guy, he's got these 2 tiny little like super thick lensed glasses, this human dude with the scraggly gray hair. And do you remember that old meme of like the guy with like, I've got a windmill in my beard? He looks like that with just this huge wispy voluminous beard and this really thick, like not even handlebar mustache, just giant thick puffy mustache. And he just goes, that was pretty good. You should come on the road with us. Oh, it was good stuff. And as he's saying that to you, you do hear from the back of the room, boo! I don't mind that old asshole. We've been getting heckled by him all night. We're competing to see who can piss him off the most. It's been a lot of fun.
Oh, I hope I win.
I don't know. The girl from Springs End really got his panties in a holler, if you get what I'm saying. But,
You all were wonderful, by the way.
You were wonderful. We're going to be here all
loved
week.
it. That's fantastic. I'll be here for a couple days, too.
We're the Bitter Road Belligerents.
That is the best name I've ever heard.
Well, that's what I said. Half of the group didn't like it. They went somewhere else and we kept going.
I think I need to go to the bathroom.
No, get the puke bucket, Cheryl. And Cheryl, the other girl, the woman with him looks like his female carbon copy. Just
Right.
holds a bucket up in front of you. Get it all? Hey, that's 2 points. And they put it down. Just go, we've been coming up and down the Bitter Road for years. We always stop here in Osk. We turn around, head all the way back down to Tumblefray. I'm here to tell you, Osk is always the craziest, and it's always the fanciest hotel too.
What is that? It's weird.
It's lack of accommodation options is what it is. But we've been coming here since the very beginning. That was our set, everybody. Let's give it up for our volunteer from the audience, Mrs.
Farah!
Farah and the bird.
Farah's gonna take a really sloppy bow again.
Just to get from the back. Boo! Hey, fuck you too, Jerry!
I need you to know, I need the audience to know that Farah would not be caught dead doing this. This is drunk shenanigans, and this is not her normal MO. I also feel the need to pause because I can't commit plagiarism. It's not really plagiarism, but that was a poem adapted by called High Flight. I made some adjustments to fit in our world, but it's by John Gillespie McGee.
It's a real poem.
It's a real poem. I know it because my dad was in the Air Force and they had to learn it in the academy.
Wow.
It's a really pretty poem.
It is a fantastic poem. You did. Oh, I mean, truly, I'm part of the audience that's just like astounded. Also, Skink is going to take an action in the middle of all this. Skink is so mad that someone is booing. I am going to take one of my little chipmunk skeletons out of my bag and send a zombie chipmunk to harass the mean man in the audience.
I'm so happy.
We took the bait.
Go ahead. Well, we'll see what happens here. That's totally fair. Okay, zombie chipmunk.
Zombie chipmunk. Just
Skink,
gonna slip.
Are you
I mean,
being like
so
nondescript about
stealthy.
this? Okay.
Oh
all right.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I need
oh yeah.
a precision check from you.
It's gonna be a 7.
7. Okay. Maddie, evens or odds?
Odds.
Odds. Excellent. Okay. I've rolled 2 dice, and I was deciding who in the room beat the 7 there, because one of them was a nat 12 and the other one was a 3. You said... Okay.
You said odds. Thanks,
You
Maddie.
did say odds.
Yeah.
So, the 12 was... I gotta be fair with it. The 12 was the guy you were talking to, who is now introduced himself. That's Cheryl, that's Jerry, I'm Jerome, that over there is Susie Q, and... Well, Susie Q, is that a thing? I don't remember. But he's just going around, he's introducing you to all the players. They're pretty happy with how that went. People are like giving them tips and like putting coins in their collection. The person who clocked it was actually Maria, the mayor bartender, who sees Skink scamper off under the table, or kind of crouch over, dump a rodent skeleton out, and she just goes, ma'am? And then the rodent skeleton gets up and scampers off, and drunk Farah sees from down by the bonfire the guy who was booing shoots up, what the hell? And it's actually a minotaur. He stands up and is just like, and like flips over a table and is trying to stomp on something that is scampering around and like crawling up his back. And he's, get it off! This is the scene we find ourselves in. What do we do?
Excellent.
I'm just
I think
quietly sitting at my seat, sipping my drink.
Farah sees this and instantly is cackling. You know, like when you get that hysterical laughter when you're like tired and drunk, like just
Yep.
tears, laughing so hard there's tears, and then like doubles over. It's a lot.
I need one of you. This is not your characters making a roll. I just want to offload it to someone else because it's fun. Someone needs to roll a D100 for me.
Oh my god. Okay.
I want
you do
to
it, Maddie. That's gonna be
Yeah.
so fun for you.
Yeah.
You want me to do it? Okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
why not?
I'll tell you before you tell me the result. What I'm doing here is breaking up the percentages in my head in terms of like, how's the crowd feel about this situation?
Oh,
right now?
sure.
So we rolled a 91.
We did.
I might cut all of that and just put it in the after show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you should.
do it.
We rolled a 91. That's very good. Nobody was happy with this Minotaur. Just this prudish Minotaur booing all of the dirty stuff in the show the whole night. And I'm going to say, because it's funnier, this guy stands up and you see he's actually like very well dressed. Like he's one of the ones who's here because this is the fanciest hotel in town. Very well dressed Minotaur in like the equivalent of like a 3-piece suit and a waist vest or a like a waist. What am I trying to say?
Waistcoat.
Waistcoat. He's got like tails, like on his dapper little snowsuit and everything, and he's just and the squirrel is like crawling around and like trying to get into his coat and everything. Problem is he's also a minotaur, so he like launches one of the tables over. It hits an orc. The orc stands up and chucks a tankard at him, and Maria is just like, everybody stop! And chaos is erupting here, but with a 91, the crowd is more against the Minotaur than they are whatever's bothering him.
Yeah.
So that's good. Your problem immediately, Skink, is you feel a hand clamp over your shoulder, look up to see Maria standing next to an Urson, which is like a big like bear person, who looks to be her bouncer.
Uh-huh.
It's like, ma'am, I really must insist that you not summon dead rodents in the hotel premises. I'm going
I didn't summon it. It was mine.
So I'm going to say, just for the sake of setting up what's happening here, she's about to ask you forcefully to leave. So if you want to make an argument against that, this is your opportunity to do so and try and go for a check or do something else or say what you want to say.
Listen, if it just got loose, do you just want me to call it back?
If you could stop the situation, that would be swell.
Fine. And I just snap my fingers to recall my darling little chipmunk.
Your darling little chipmunk.
That's right.
Scampers back over and crawls up onto your table, we'll say.
And I just look at Maria with this little look on my face. I was like, I'm sorry it got out.
You can make we'll call it a cleverness check. It's going to be a hard one. I'm going to say you need at least a 14.
I got a 6.
Right. She goes, ma'am, I've sent the porters up to your room. They're gathering your belongings, and I need you two to leave.
And
Do you come get me?
Huh?
I think Farah does not probably see that this is happening.
No. And I'm like, I is it really necessary?
I'm afraid so. Your creature is attacking the other guests and has caused quite a bit of damage. You can leave now or after we've tallied up the damage to the property.
Farah is going to notice what's going on now. Can she approach?
Yeah, totally.
I'd like to approach the bench.
You can approach the bench. The bitch. Maria is going like... She's not even like a Karen in the situation because technically it is smashing up her common room and like she's the proprietor. It's totally fair. But she's got that energy of like, ma'am, I'm the manager and you've got to go.
Mm-hmm.
So Farah comes up to her. She goes, Maria, I am so sorry for our behavior. What if I could compensate you further for our ability to stay the night? I promise we're not normally this much of a ruckus. We've just had an awful day today. Did you hear about the long haul? We were there when it exploded.
That was the key phrase here. That's the key phrase that's going to let you also get a crack at this cleverness check.
Okay.
I will say Maria is not a cold-hearted person. I said you had to beat a 14 before, Marissa?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to subtract. I just rolled a thing for it. I've subtracted 3 from that. You've got to clear an 11.
Okay. Oh my god, I got a 6.
You see, she just kind of goes,
Wait.
be that as it may, I think you understand.
Farah, drunk as a skunk, right?
Yeah.
She pulls out a fistful of gold coins. Do you want me to roll the cleverness check again?
How many gold coins?
I'm gonna go with, how many silver is in 1 gold?
10.
So that's like 10 nights worth.
What's
I'm
this
gonna go
worth
with-
to you?
we have 200 each, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with, I have like a solid, I don't know.
There's
11.
a really good
I
chance.
have 11 in my hand.
Yeah, there's a really good chance you can buy your way out of this situation.
Yeah, I have 11 in my hand.
All right, I just rolled a dice, so I know what it takes to buy you your way out of this situation. So you're putting up 11 against that mystery number right now.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
What does her face look like? What does her face look like?
is 11 your final number?
I don't know. What does her face look like?
Stone. Just
Okay. Farrah's gonna like pull out one more because she's sweating at this point. Because she doesn't want to have to go anywhere else, right? And she's just like, and she's also, again, drunk as a skunk, so just completely balls to the wall, no holds barred. Pulls out one more and puts it on top.
12 gold. Okay. Which is the equivalent of what, 120 nights staying right in your room?
Basically 3 months.
Yeah, okay.
4 months. before. Yeah.
The room is kind of settled down now. The creature's been recalled back. This minotaur is fuming and cursing and spitting and yelling at the performers and yelling at the people who laughed at him. The crowd is definitely on not his side. So Maria, absolutely stone-faced, holds out her hand.
I just all of the gold coins.
She puts it all into a pocket. He looks at the bear, the Urson. Mr. Wallaby has been a terrible nuisance for this entire performance. We pay good money to have these performers here and give our guests a good time, and I will not stand for this amount of heckling and belligerence during the activities. You two, I would take it as a kindness if you spent the rest of the evening in your rooms,
Yes, Maria.
which you have now paid for, we'll say, for the week.
I love you, Maria.
And she just sort of points to the bouncer who goes over. The Urson, probably the only person in here who is close to the size of a full-size minotaur,
Sure.
who grabs this guy and just zero fucks given, just grabs this guy by the collar and starts dragging him out the door as he's still like doing that, like, got something on me, you're all animals, this is ridiculous, and just like that, just storming out of this establishment, causing a ruckus. Yeah, it turns out paying for 3 months for a economy room is more than enough for Maria to be like, yeah, all right.
Yeah, all right.
She's not going to give anything
You can stay.
away.
We hate him too.
How does Skink feel about Farah just handing over a fistful of coins?
Again, I also know we have 200 each. This doesn't feel like that much of a problem.
We are not financially responsible.
Yeah.
Or are we?
Yeah, Maria just doing the calculation of like, they are immediately my most lucrative guests since I've
Does she question it all? No, I'm not questioning this. Never mind. Farah's gonna grab hold of Skink's hand and be like, let's retire. Maria, you're a good woman, madam.
And
Enjoy your stay.
Skink blows Maria a kiss.
Absolutely stone-faced.
Yeah.
This poor aquatic mare
Yeah,
woman who has made her
seriously.
life up here on the ice and is just like, what? I
Just
run a
wait.
nice business.
Just wait until the morning with Farah's shame. Maria will appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
incredible.
You guys head up to
So
your
let's go
room.
to our room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a game mechanic question. So now that I have animated this little zombie chipmunk,
Mhm.
can I de-animate it, or does it just stay like that
So
for a
it
while?
stays until you get rid of it. The problem is now you have an undead chipmunk crawling around, which
Yeah.
is not, as you can see, necessary. It's better than having an undead person walking around with you because you can like stuff a chipmunk in a pocket. But this thing is animated until you decide otherwise or it is destroyed. But once used in that way, you can't reuse the same skeleton. So you've spent that skeleton and
Exactly,
do with it what you
yeah.
will.
Yeah. Well, I think so. We all go up to our room, and Skink is just like, I hate to just put this candle out. You know, it's such a nice little candle.
Can I see him?
Sure.
If you have pulled it out, Pip is absolutely standing on its head and just riding it around the room. Like a Roomba.
Farah's gonna approach it and she's going to pet its like gnarly little partially furred desiccated head.
Yeah.
Just nice strokes. She's still drunk as a skunk.
Still drunk. And I was like, Farah, do you want to keep it? Should we keep it in the room?
I mean, will it get out? I feel like Maria's really over our shit.
I know. We can't let it out again here. Should I put it outside?
I think that's a poor choice.
I know. I usually like these things to have a goal. It doesn't have a goal right now.
So the nature of necromancy, these undead thralls, do not do anything Skink does not will them to do. So right now, if you've commanded it to be like marching around the room, it's doing that and like acting like a chipmunk to the best of its abilities.
Yeah.
But if you have not given it instructions, it is just sitting there like taxidermy.
So, oh my god, that's so creepy.
That's hilarious.
So could it stay and watch for us at the window or something?
I was just gonna say, if it only does things that I want to do, maybe I'm just gonna. I like the Roomba suggestion. Like maybe I'm just gonna have it like do laps. I'm just gonna have it do laps around the corner so that nothing comes in at night.
Yeah. Farrah's
without
gonna have
it
some
alerting me.
real weird. Farrah's gonna have some real weird dreams of like scuttling noises and like maybe crabs are gonna be in the dream or something.
Yeah.
Because of the bones.
For the entirety of the night, you guys just hear.
Yeah. We're gonna have some weird dreams.
Yeah. This is like not that. It doesn't feel unnatural for a skink.
No.
To be in a place where there's crawling sounds.
I would venture to say that this is something that maybe has happened before.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, all right. And with that, I guess we all pass out.
Farrah's like sprawled, snoring. As one does.
Yeah. You guys pass out for the evening. It is a new day. You know what we have to do now.
Roll for
Roll for
Pip.
Pip.
Roll for Pip.
Roll for Pip.
Roll for Pip.
Okay, so we've done evens and odds a couple of times. I think the fun way to do it today is going to be roll off. 1d12
Roll
apiece.
off. Roll off. Do.
And if you tie, we're going up to d20s. And if you tie
Roll
again, we're going to d100s.
I love
Okay.
it. I got a 10.
You said roll d12, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I got a 4.
Okay. Well, hey, he's alternated every day so far. Pip
Incredible.
wakes. You guys wake up to find Pip nestled down nice and snug in his perch inside of Farrah's hood.
Yay.
Oh my god, what did I do?
Drinking bath, mother.
Oh. And it like starts to come back to Farrah. She's like,
And then I just roll over. I'm still, my eyes aren't even open yet, but I was like, you were incredible. You did your poem and it was amazing.
I have slipped the surly bands of earth to touch the face of gods.
Farrah, they loved it. They loved it.
she's got a splitting headache.
Yeah.
Red is a tomato because she's just embarrassed.
And still rattled.
It's still rattled.
Now you're rattled with
Farrah's
a hangover.
struggling.
Farrah's having a rough morning.
I never will drink again.
Yeah, well, you say that every time.
Wait. Was there a squirrel?
Oh,
At that
he's
point,
right.
you see it march past your headboard.
Yeah. And then Skink goes like, yeah, it should still be here.
That was what was my dreams were today. Okay, it's making. Okay.
Chippy should still
All
be
right.
there.
I
Chippy.
need to go apologize to Maria. And also go find a healer.
Farrah, we already apologized. We apologized with money. You apologized with so much money. We don't need to say anything.
Wait,
She
what?
loves us.
What? How much money?
I don't know, you grabbed a fistful.
A fistful of what?
Of gold!
Of gold?
That's
What
why
was
we're
I
still
doing?
here.
We were supposed to keep a low profile. Oh, no, wait.
It's okay. We're
We'll
gonna
just say
tell
we're
everybody
looking for
we're flake
flakes.
hunters.
Exactly.
We're flake hunters.
It's fine.
We're flake
It's
hunters.
gonna be fine.
It's fine.
I'm going downstairs. Apologize to Maria. And then I'm gonna go to, what was his name? Polk? I don't know. I just need to go, okay?
Do you want me to come with you? Or you go? Okay, it's Polk. You gotta go to Polk's.
Okay. Do you wanna go with me, or do you wanna start acquiring gear?
Oh, I love to go see my buddy Galileo. You're sure you don't want to come?
I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm okay.
Okay, okay.
Pip can help guide me. It'll be okay.
Pip will take care of you. Just don't apologize with any more money, okay?
Yeah, I won't. I'm not drunk anymore.
Okay. You apologized with enough money, I think.
Farrah is very, like, she's normally has this metallic sheen. She's like a paler gray today. All right.
Matte, dull metal.
Yes. All right. She's going to go downstairs. Is Maria there?
Maria does not work the morning shifts, but I'll say as you come down, you see I believe it was a copper gnome was the morning barkeeper this week, and you do see the large Urson bouncer standing over by the door from last night.
Okay. I'm gonna approach the Urson.
Yeah, he's the huge, again, bear person, right? Massive dude. He's got kind of that, like, Eurasian bear of, like, black and white, striped and ringed in different places.
Sun bear. I love
like a sun bear, exactly. So he's just this big, like, not a polar bear, like kind of like a sun bear type coloration and huge hulking build. Another just large, massive guy. He's standing there, just leaning up against the wall. It's probably getting towards the end of his night shift.
I'm gonna walk up to the side of him and be like, would you be willing to give a message to Maria for me when you first see her?
Speak.
Please give her my sincerest apologies for our behavior last night. We are not like that.
Minotaur was a dick.
I like you. And Farrah's just gonna go on her way. She can't even, like, the smell of breakfast right now is getting to her. Like, she's gonna walk out where it's, like, brisk and cold.
Yeah.
And, like, take a big deep breath.
Did you guys sleep in, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Farrah had to.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's like 10.
So,
at least.
Up in Osk this time of year, still dark out. Like,
Right.
not even approaching dawn yet. But you do see, for probably the first time since you've been up here, clear skies. So Farrah steps out and sees overhead hanging the Borealis. This lovely, wavy, wispy strands of light of different colors. A little bit different, the Borealis of Rubica compared to those of real-world Earth. At times, I'm going to say, in fact, go ahead and roll a precision check for me. Skink, you can roll 2 if you've gone outside with Farrah. If you've stayed inside, then no, don't worry about it.
I think I'm in the room.
Just watch.
Yep. I think now I'm
12.
having my chipmunk's doing somersaults now. I'm awake. I don't need to watch
You're
anything.
just doing little chipmunk
Cute.
circus.
Chipmunk
Pips with
circus.
Farrah today, but I've got my friend Chippy.
That's right.
I got a dirty 12.
Dirty 12, beautiful. You do see that in Rubica, the Borealis is a little bit different in that occasionally it's like, how do I want? Weird analogy. Have you ever seen those experiments, those demonstrations where they put like fine grains of sand on top of like subwoofers?
Yeah.
Yes.
like, the
I know
different
exactly
radial
what you mean.
Fractal
Yes.
type patterns.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Borealis of Rubica react in a similar way, transiently. Like as they hit the atmosphere and kind of ripple across, it's not so much that they're within a rigid pattern, it's that there are distinct bands and paths and channels where they flare brighter as they kind of wave across them. And this is just a fun visual effect that you see as you're out here, and like the coloration kind of blooms and brightens a little bit as it kind of passes across these different huge, enormous, like you're not seeing this crazy intricate little pattern, but you do see these kind of like greater, what am I trying to say? These greater patterns, these greater convalescence points, these greater points of reaction.
Farrah is going to stand here for a minute. This is greatly alleviating her hangover by breathing cool, crisp air and watching the pretty lights. After probably, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes, she stays there for a minute. she's gonna walk over to try to find Polks. Now, does she know where it is, or does she have to ask for directions?
I'm actually gonna say, as you're standing out there, it takes you a moment, but you realize that there's actually a person kind of off to one side standing there as well. You look over and you see Maria standing there with what smells like a mug of warm cider, looking up, same as you. That's why I stayed up here.
Oh my God, Maria, I'm so sorry.
I get it. I do. I heard you passing the message along to Trout back there, but you're fine. I get it.
Thank you.
Guy was being an ass. I just can't.
Oh, we were kind of being asses too. To be
Didn't want to put too fine a point on it.
This is beautiful. I can see why you stay.
It's hard up here.
Yeah.
It is. And, we do a lot to try and keep things comfortable. It takes a lot of work, and it's very frustrating when people take that for granted. I know you were just enjoying yourself, and I think I can see your friend was sticking up for you.
Yeah,
That's nice.
She has some different ways of doing that.
I don't hate it. I get it. If the dude hadn't been smashing up half of my furniture, I probably would have laughed at it. But
He did seem destructive.
yeah, I don't know him. He's new.
Well, of the time I've spent here in Osk, I have to tell you, the natives that I've met, the people that have made this their home, I really like. You all are good people.
She passes over the mug.
Bless you.
Yeah. There's
It's not
just
the
a
only thing.
little bite of whiskey in it.
Yeah, and that's about the only thing that Farah could possibly stomach.
Yeah. I thought it might help.
You're an angel.
I try.
Can you tell me where Polks is by chance?
Yeah, it's and she gives you directions, kind of. It's a little ways across town, but not crazy. I mean, nothing here is super far. It's just everything's a pain in the butt to walk to.
Right.
Yeah, it's over there. Is Roland doing okay?
Last we checked, but he was like set to be taken care of yesterday after the incident. We haven't had a chance to check in with him since then. I think he's at Polks, so I can inquire as to his state. I would like to know myself as well.
Yeah, if you when you come back this evening or whatever, if I'm not here, leave a message. I'd like to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he's I don't know him super well, but same business. See him around, long time.
Yeah, he seems like a good man, good person, good work.
Yeah, him and that Sive been here a couple of years now. Yeah.
Sive's a mystery.
I don't know her. They came in together. I thought she owned the long haul for a while because her and Roland showed up together at the same time. But
interesting.
Learned later, no, it was actually Roland's place, and she just, I don't know, hangs out. Anyways, yeah, no, I was just curious how he's doing. A little on edge. People, exploding inns.
Yeah. I hope he's able to recover financially. Damage.
Well, I don't know. None of my business, but yeah, I hope he's okay.
Right. Yeah, I'll update you once I know.
Appreciate it. I'm not working tonight. You won't be here, but someone will be on staff.
Okay, we won't be the nuisance that we were last night.
You head off to Polks. Skink, what are you up to this morning?
Skink is wondering if she's going to run into Orlo in the midwinter sun. So Skink is going to linger at breakfast for a little while.
Did we establish that he was staying there? I think we must have at some point.
We did, yes.
Yeah.
Because
Okay.
everybody got moved over there because
Right,
of the
right.
criminal investigation
Mhm.
around the death.
Right.
And then the long haul blew up, so he's definitely not staying there. I don't know how many other inns there are. Everybody got moved over there temporarily the first night. I don't know how long they decided to stay.
Yeah, okay, so you hang out in the common room for a while, and I think you realize as you're kind of like piling on your plate and your little... I'm assuming your chipmunk is just like stuffed in a pocket or something. He's basically inanimate unless you want him to be. So
Yeah, I'm like, so once I decide to go down for breakfast, I just, let him rest in taxidermy pose
Mhm.
and keep it in a concealed pocket, not like a sticking out pocket, because I don't want to embarrass Farah.
Right. As
I was
you're,
like, I promised not to get us kicked out.
as you're hanging out and enjoying your breakfast, I'm gonna say that there are kind of a big set of double doors off on one side of the midwinter sun. And you see as the morning staff are kind of like moving around and carrying platters and carrying trays of food and whatever, they're also bringing it into there. And you glimpse after a while, like as these doors open up, oh, there's a whole little like grand ballroom effectively, and like a second common room that's a little less stairway platform intensive than the old like fire pit room. And that seems to be where most of the quadriplegic, most of the quadruped guests are staying. Listen, maybe I'm not, it's an ADA compliant building.
Yeah.
But oh boy.
I love
It's getting late,
Look,
hun.
we
I
normally
love it.
record on Monday
I-
nights, and we've shifted
I
to
know.
Friday for a while, and we're a little
Everyone's-
punchy.
Everyone's been yawning so much.
So
This
much.
whole
I
episode
feel like my
is
jaw is
so
unhinging.
funny.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We're almost there. You gather that this other room is a dining and banquet area favored by more of the quadrupedal guests because there's no stairs. It's all flat. I'm going to just narrate, peek into there, and you do see Orlo piling up a plate of just eggs and bacon and toast and eggs and muffin and bacon, and he's just loading up like a whole situation.
All right. So, I'm gonna make my move. I'm gonna go in there and say, "Hey, Orlo, what's
Yeah.
up?"
You walk in here and immediately notice you are the smallest creature in this room, by more than usual. This is a room full of a number of different Wilderkin who are, kind of larger, different body types, whatever. Wilderkin are like the Minotaurs of the Urson. They have like animalistic features. There's a number of other centaurs kind of milling around in here. All of them are quite big. There's a couple of like larger orcs and everything. This is just a bigger, opener space that's easier to
It's
move
like
around
I
in.
went to the barn. It's like I
Yeah.
wandered into the
Yeah.
barn. From
I
the
mean, kind of like
farmhouse.
a nice like ski villa decor barn. Like that's
Yeah.
where you're at right now. You wind your way over to Orlo, manage to not get stepped on, and he looks down and goes, "Miss Skink, pleasure to see you this morning. How are you?"
I'm doing all right. Can I have my breakfast with you?
I don't see why not. And he goes over, and you realize pretty quickly a lot of the tables in here don't have benches. They're just like for them bar height surface. And he goes, "Do you mind?" And he reaches down and just scoops you and stands you on the end of the table. Easier on my neck.
Love it. Skink is delighted.
I'm going to
Delighted.
remind everybody, Orlo is canonically shirt open to the navel kind of guy and built like Hemsworth playing Thor.
He's a hot centaur.
He's the hot centaur.
Yeah.
We've ended an episode over his hot centaurness before.
Yes.
Maddie and
Incredible.
Marissa's
So
erotic
now-
literature podcast will be coming soon.
Oh,
so
people
now
would
I'm just
eat
like,
centaurs up. I'm just throwing that out there.
absolutely. So now I'm just like sitting on the table with my, like, I'm gonna say like sitting cross-legged with my plate in my lap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what he was going for.
Great.
What
Great.
What can I do for you? Just shoveling food.
Well, Farah and I have decided that we would like to mount a flake hunting expedition. And since you have done this, I was just gonna, talk to you a little bit about the particulars of what it would take to go out there.
Well, the salient points, if you're bringing back flakes, you're gonna want a pickaxe. You're gonna want a. Chris has to think about something very quick. Pickaxe. Make sure you get a couple of tools. They make. Galio has a few tools that are a little less prone to like sparks, especially made, different alloys and such that are a little bit less
reactive.
Yeah, so working with big pieces, not too big a deal, but you saw what happens the long haul. Once you break them into smaller pieces, if you still need to keep chipping away, there's a lot of dust or anything like that, you don't want to just be swinging at that with raw steel. You hit a spark, it's going to flash, it's going to burn your eyebrows off, it's going to be a whole thing.
Yeah.
It won't be it's not nearly as dangerous as what happened at the hall. That was a whole confluence of events, but you can still hurt yourself a little bit. So proper tools. Galio or someone in that trade can tell you more about that when you acquire them. Getting out there, really just having a comfortable place to sleep is really important. Make sure you pack a big enough tent. I would say get a sled and make sure you have backups of everything because stuff breaks. That's crucial. Sled really the way to go across the tundra for sure. And then if you have the means to secure a base camp heading into the mountains, I think that's probably the best of both worlds. You're not going to be able to take a sled up into the rocks, but if you want to be able to haul, like our problem was we loaded up everything we could in our personal packs and just made an arduous trek back out of the mountains and across the tundra. But as soon as Chester got hurt, we had to drop a bunch of stuff to get him home. So that was kind of the situation we found ourselves in. So what I would have done differently is basically pack for 2 expeditions. Expedition 1 is get to the mountains, Expedition 2 is climb the mountains, and then pack the sleds, come back that way. And then we could have just thrown Chester on a sled, it would have been way easier. Unfortunately, but lessons learned. So that's my advice. Yeah.
Thanks. That's worth a lot. Thanks, Orlo. Thanks.
Yeah, no, happy to help. You're gonna find the best flakes up in the mountains, and on a clear night, they phosphoresce in moonlight. So that's the easiest way to spot them. Because they'll be under some ice and some snow and some tundra a little bit, but when you get direct moonlight on them, for whatever reason, that tends to make them glow. So when it's dark enough out, you can just sort of find a vantage point and find the biggest veins.
Moonlight. Who would have thought?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
So now that your little expedition's done, what are you up to, Orlo? What are
Well,
your plans?
I want to go south with Cassie. I've known her for a long time, but it looks like her and Prin are heading out tonight. Tonight, I say. They're heading out as soon as the sun rises, and they're going to get as far as they can and just sort of go that way. She needs to get home. I'm here making arrangements, waiting for Chester to ship out, and then I'm going to stick around here in Osk for a little while. Unfortunately, I came up here looking for work because my family has some expenses that need to be covered, so as much as I'd like to go home with my friend right now, I really need to I need a couple more jobs behind me before we're done.
Oh, you're looking for work.
I am, yeah, if you know of anything.
I'll keep my ear to the ground.
I
What kind of
appreciate
work
that.
do you usually do as a centaur?
You'd be amazed the number of hauling, deliveries, courier. And listen, I get it. It's efficient. I understand. But it's I'm more than that, I'm also an incredibly brutal great axe fighter. And I appreciate being it's a little frustrating to just be seen as the strongest person in the room. And you hear a couple of people grumble around it like, shut up, shut up. We had an arm wrestling competition the other night.
Hey.
I'm teasing a little bit here. But yeah, no, I wind up getting hired very easily for labor, but I enjoy more of the exploratory expeditions, and I've done a lot of caravan guarding in the past, so I think that might be when I leave here is I'll pick up a shift as someone going down the Bitter Road as like a caravan guard. Pretty efficient at it, don't need to ride on a wagon, that kind of deal. But yeah, no, it's kind of my whole shtick.
Would you be up for another expedition? Or was the last one a little scarring?
I mean, listen, I've been in this business for a long time before I met Cassian Jester. It's a shame what happened to him, but also we did find on the actual expedition itself, if you are looking for a guard for your flakes, I think we have a little bit of rapport here. I'm not going to rob you or anything. My rate's 20 gold a day if we're going out into the tundra, or 10 gold if we're doing something in town.
All right.
It's a dangerous, I know it's expensive, but it's a dangerous line of work,
Yeah. I'll keep it in mind. Keep you in mind.
I might be willing to negotiate for a cut of the returns, but we can talk about that. But that's kind of the ballpark I'm playing in right now.
Sure. I gotta run the budget by my by my buddy, my partner, Farah. She's really I can't do anything without her.
No, of course. Yeah, I understand. Well, I'll be staying here the next couple of nights. I've got some deliveries to make around town this evening, but I'll be around if you want to circle back. I'm wrapping that up today.
All right. I'll let you know.
Fantastic. Good seeing you again, Miss Skink. Do you need help down?
If you mind.
No, of course. And he just holds out an arm.
And I just scramble onto it.
He doesn't
nestle
even,
myself. I just sit in the elbow.
Yeah, it doesn't even deflect, like, as you get on. He just sort of like, there you go. All right. And lets you down off the table.
Pleasure making your acquaintance again.
You might want to walk under the table. It's a little bit safer until you get back to the door.
Skink's just gonna like hug the bench as she goes all the way back to the door.
We're going to cut over to Farah, heading over to Folks.
Yes. I'm trudging through the snow.
Okay. Dunk, 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 dunk. Mother, where are we going? It's cold.
To heal me, hopefully. I know it's cold. Come here, Pip. And I'm gonna open my coat. With our cat, we call this kangarooing. No, what do I call it? Bjorning, like a baby Bjorn.
Yes.
Bjorning.
It's called many things, but Bjorning is the most fun. So I'm going to open my coat for Pip to climb in.
Pip nestles in there, and you head off in the directions that Maria gave you, heading for Polks. There's no sign, but she did point out that the landmark people use to find Polks is the 5 smokestacks that are coming out of the haphazard roof of this little hut. Okay. And you see that there's a door that is like slightly ajar and like swinging in the wind a little bit at the front of this place.
All right, I'm gonna go knock on the door frame.
Come in.
I'll scurry in because it seems rushed.
Yes. Hello. Yes. What can Polk do for you? And you see this frazzled, bearded, like tufted old rat man. He is a ratling. There's a name for them. They're actually a new lineage that is being introduced into Relict as a result of feedback from our Kickstarter and Discord fans. So this was a request. So we have rat people coming to the system now.
Very fun.
So yes. What can I do for you?
You're a healer, right?
Yes.
Two things now. I
Two.
Was part of the long haul, collapse.
Explosion!
And, fight.
Yes, roll
I
it.
was part of the fight. I sustained several wounds. I'm a little rattled now.
Yes, Yes, yes. Many explosion damage, significant shrapnel damage, burning damage. Roland, bruised kidney, very bad.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that about.
It's fine, he's fine.
Okay. I'm also very hungover, and I was wondering if I could acquire your services.
Hangover cure, free.
Oh, did you say free?
Free, hangover, easy.
Okay, and the injuries sustained from the fight.
Injuries, various alchemical procedures we have to do, but hangover cure I can handle right now. Are you ready? Holds very still. He reaches down, he grabs a scoop full of snow off the ground, spits in it, and slaps you across the face.
Wow!
Not thinking about hangover anymore. We talk about your injuries now. Come. And he just scampers back off into his house.
Safair's alert.
Yeah, adrenaline, very good for hangover fix.
All right, she's gonna go with him.
Yes. Hangover comes back, you come back, I slap.
Noted. Thank you.
Oh, breakfast! He grabs a just series of small vials off the shelf. Some of them are glowing and have various particulates in them. Cracks all of them open, just like knocks all the corks out of them, pours them into a bowl, and starts licking it.
Okay, but how are you gonna assess me for? Okay, I might just go to the temple.
No temple. Thought, very bad. Stupid people. You have combat injury. Yes, good.
Yes.
Come here.
Yes,
come
I
here.
do.
Come here. I test. I eat breakfast. I test. No breaks.
I mean, I can wait until you're done.
No union.
Okay.
Sit. You sit.
Okay, she sits.
He grabs a head rig off of a shelf, brings it down, and you see it's got an array of like lenses and mirrors, and he just lights a little wick on a tiny candle right next to his eyeball. And it's just, he starts like ratcheting these little things. It's like going to the optometrist where they've got all those little whiz bang things, but these are all going in front of him. And you see he's just kind of running you through a number of like reflex tests and like follow finger, follow tail, you missed tail. And like he just keeps going around like shining mirrors into various places. Some of them make sense to you, like you could tell he's testing for like dilation. Some of them he's like open your mouth, and then he just like sticks his finger up your nose. No, bad. Pip pops out at one point. He's like, you have bird.
Yes.
I fix?
I do. No,
fix?
It's okay.
Good bird.
Fair's gonna push Bird back down. Pip goes back down.
Bird is fixed.
Yes. Yeah, Bird
Okay.
is fixed.
Yes, Bird is fixed now. You have bird problem. I have thing.
No, we don't have a bird problem.
No
I
bird
just
problem.
Need the injuries fixed.
He grabs a net off the wall and throws it through the window. No bird problem.
Okay. No bird problem.
Good. Okay. Let's see. Injury. I can brew special potion. Fix you.
Great.
Special potion. Very important.
Uh,
Rare ingredients. Cannot do not have. Expensive.
All right.
I'm very trusted. You can get a recommendation from other people. You trust me. Everyone in Ask trusts Polk. Except Temple of Thaw. Stupid people. I make healing potion. Very simple. Will not fix you. I make healing potion with flake. 200 gold. I fix you.
Right.
You drink potion. Very strong poop. All better.
That's a lot of gold.
Much gold. Much gold. You provide flake. 70 gold. I provide flake. 200 gold.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have that right now, so I'm gonna go. Thank you for this.
Yes.
I'll be
Good.
back
Good. Thank
if
you.
I can acquire that.
He puts his hand on your cheek and just thank you.
So uncomfortable right now. This is Maddie speaking, not.
Delicious. You try?
No, thank you.
No.
She's gonna just like pat his hand and then just back away
I miss you.
and head out. Okay.
This is my new favorite character. I have been dying here this whole time. I love this scene so much. This is the standout scene of the episode. Incredible. Fantastic.
As Farah and a traumatized Pip leave Polk's hut, we are going to end episode 6 of the Nyx Archive. And we will pick it up there next time.
Wow.
That was a good time.
It was good.